Well, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to our conjunction video of the week. And this week we're going to be covering our conjunction of Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Ketu. And what happens when Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Ketu are conjunct in your horoscope. And as always, if you do not know, if you have this conjunction, where it's placed, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, for that check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, Aspects, and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my reading and consultations at this link. So, Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Ketu conjunction. Well, first of all, as you know, Sun represents authorities, government, father, reputation, vitality. It is the light in your horoscope. Wherever Sun is placed in your horoscope, it represents this light. Where do you always shine is seen where the Sun is placed. And Sun obviously represents your soul and part of your personality. Then you have Mercury, communication, speech, learning, friends, siblings, communications of all kinds, journalism, writing. Mercury also represents statistics. Then you have Saturn, which represents discipline, structure, organization, sacrifice, duty, commitment, working class people, servants. It represents administration. Then you have, and then Saturn also represents, oil, petroleum. I mean, each planet can represent literally 600 to 700 things. Then you have Ketu. Ketu represents introverted energy, the sudden things that happen within us. Ketu represents isolation. Ketu represents spiritual knowledge, hidden knowledge, occult. It's a monk. Ketu represents dogs. But remember, Ketu is this energy of the past. Something which we are expert in the past, we bring into this life to use it so we can progress in our future, which is Rahu. So now all four of these planets are conjunct together. And one thing you have to understand about this conjunction, especially Mercury here. Why? Because Mercury is a planet that behaves in a manner wherever it's sitting. Like Mercury behaves in a manner depending upon its placement with another planet, conjunction with another planet. Like Mercury is a natural benefic planet, but when it's surrounded by malefic planets, it becomes malefic. If it's surrounded by benefic planets, it becomes a great benefic. If it's surrounded by malefic and benefic, it becomes neutral. It'll give good results and it'll give the harsh results. It'll give sattvic, rajasic results, and it'll give tamasic results. So here Mercury is now surrounded by three malefic planets, which is Sun, Saturn, and Ketu. So obviously Mercury is going to behave in a malefic way. That's one thing to always look out for with Mercury and Moon. They always behave in a way how they're conjunct. So one thing you got to understand is that this person will have a very harsh speech. Straightforward, harsh speech. They don't think when they speak. They say what they want, how they want. And there's just very strict forwardness to them. Very strictness. Perhaps not aggressiveness, strictness. But the thing is, when they get angry, when they get frustrated, when they lose, they will say things that you just can't even imagine them saying. And especially depending upon the sign that Mercury is in, sign of Mercury and the second house, these things really show the attitude towards communication and speech. But when this conjunction comes together, one of the most common things I see, the most common thing is that people go into either civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electronics, or accounting. This is something that I see with my career consultation that I do. All day, whenever this conjunction is there, a technical education will take place regardless of where this conjunction is. Why? Regardless of where this conjunction is. It doesn't need to impact your 5th house of education or 9th house of higher education. Why am I saying this? Because remember, Mercury is the karaka of education. of learning, meaning it is the significator of education and learning. So when you're looking at your fifth lord, how it's placed, how your fifth house is from your birth chart, your Karakamsha Lagna, and your ninth house, you're also going to pay attention to, more than even Jupiter, Mercury. Especially if you're going for normal learning, Mercury will show what type of a logical learning you're going to have. Jupiter shows higher learning, philosophy, spirituality and higher knowledge, and more like even PhD. But Mercury really shows what is that your skill set are going to be, because Mercury's skill set. So here, whenever malefic planets are impacting Mercury, the learning is always technical. Even accounting is a technical education. Crunching numbers, calculating. And back like literally 3, 4, 5,000 years ago, there was no calculators. You had to use tools to calculate, like paper, pen. Back then it was like ink and like leaf. You would, do your accounting work there. And there were some tools you would do to calculate things. Like in Japan and India, they have these wooden things that children learn at the age of 3 or 4. Okay, 6,543 minus, 248. What is it? Boom. Within a second, they'll calculate that. So it's a technical education, and shows that the father is a very, very harsh person to deal with. Father, somehow, some way, when he gives an order, and if it's not followed, you pay for it. Especially in India, you're gonna pay for it, man. So that's something you will definitely notice with this. And what also happens is, this is the type of conjunction that can actually also attract a person towards a government service, government job, somebody who likes to give themselves in service to something higher. Now, this can also mean devotion to God, devotion to some sort of a higher purpose, social welfare, social reform. Because just because there are these malefic conjunctions doesn't mean that person will always be bad. It shows that the person can be very harsh on themselves and other to achieve a goal. Because now there's this tamasic energies absolutely present. Although Sun is a Sattvic planet, but it's also a malefic planet. And these are the people that can also deal with speech impediment disorder. People who, kind of skip their beat when they speak. And one thing you will definitely notice with this conjunction is that naturally these people are always on alert. Like with anxiety or panic attacks. Because remember, what is Mercury? Besides whatever I explained, Mercury is nervous system. Your nervous system is on alert with Saturn and Ketu and Sun. It is a lot of heat and wind is coming upon your nervous system. Because Saturn is an airy planet. And then Sun is a fiery planet. Ketu is a very cold planet. So all these things that are coming together are kind of screwing up that nervous system. So especially if this conjunction occurs in, let's say, the sign of Scorpio, sign of Aquarius, it occurs in the sign of Aries, there's a lot of heat, a lot of coldness, and it just can shut down the nervous system, especially if it's very close in degrees to each other. And naturally, what also happens is these people don't really like to have too many friends. They don't really want to deal with too many acquaintances. Because when they deal with them, what happens is they get into very harsh communication with them. And people don't like to be their friends because of the fact they know that if they're their friends, they will say something so harsh and brash that the other person will not like it. Nobody wants to be insulted in a friendship. So that's something they will also deal with naturally, regardless of how the 11th house is. Because remember, Mercury represents the Karka ship for friendship. So 11th house may show abundance of friends, meaning a lot of network circles comes in your life. But how many last? For this, you always have to look at Mercury, the significator. Well, they don't last very long because the significator itself, the foundation, is not in the best placement. Now, obviously, if this occurs in, let's say, sign of Libra, where Saturn is exalted, Mercury is in a friendly sign, okay? then or let's say it's occurs in Virgo, then definitely these people will be excellent in terms of friendship. Very serious friends, but they'll be good. So you just have to see the dynamic of how the conjunction is placed. Okay. So guys, this is my analysis of Sun, Mercury, Saturn, Ketu conjunction. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you don't know where your conjunction is, all my books, reports, consultations, for that, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.